take a moment to gently arrive into this space, not rushing, not preparing, simply noticing that you are here. There may have been movement before this moment, thoughts, decisions, external activity. And now there is a natural transition from doing into simply being. Nothing needs to be solved here. Nothing needs to be figured out. This is a space of observation. A space where awareness can begin to notice itself without pressure, without expectation. Awareness remains steady. As this moment begins, allow yourself to arrive exactly as you are. There is nothing you need to prepare, nothing you need to understand yet. Only the quiet act of being here. A solar eclipse is often described as a moment when light is briefly obscured, not removed, not gone, but temporarily hidden. Across many ancient cultures, this moment was not feared as much as it was observed, not as something external, but as something that could also be felt internally. A shift in perception, a soft interruption in clarity, a pause in the usual way things appear. Allow the body to settle into that idea, not as belief, but as a possibility. The breath continues naturally. The body is supported. Awareness remains steady. During a solar eclipse, there is often a natural slowing, not imposed, but revealed. The usual sense of forward movement softens, and awareness has an opportunity to turn inward. Rather than seeking clarity immediately, this moment allows space for clarity to reorganize itself. This is where deeper alignment begins, not through effort, but through observation. Now we begin by bringing attention toward the base of the body, the root chakra. Notice the points of contact, the weight of the body, the sense of gravity already holding you. Ancient observers often described eclipses as moments where external stability felt less certain, but internal grounding became more important. Stability does not need to be created, it is already present. Notice how the body responds when attention settles downward. Notice how stability does not depend on circumstances in this moment. The body is already supported. Even when external conditions change, this underlying support often remains constant. Eclipses can reveal this contrast, what feels uncertain externally, and what remains stable internally. Now, gently shift awareness toward the lower abdomen, the sacral chakra. This center is often associated with emotional movement, flow, adaptation. During moments of change, emotions may shift more noticeably, not because something is wrong, but because awareness is becoming more sensitive. Allow any emotional tone to be present without needing to hold it, without needing to change it. Emotions may move more freely during periods of transition, not because something is wrong, but because awareness is less distracted. When attention softens, subtle movement becomes more noticeable. Emotions in this energy center moves around like water, without the need to be directed and not needing resolution. Now, bring awareness toward the center of the torso, the solar plexus. This is the center most often associated with direction, personal power, and orientation. During a solar eclipse, many people notice a temporary uncertainty in direction, as if the usual clarity has become unclear. This is not a loss of direction, it is a pause before refinement. Notice the sensations here: warmth, density, space, or simply presence. Ancient traditions often used eclipse periods not for action, but for observation, waiting for clarity to return naturally. Allow that same patience here. This is often where people try to regain control, to decide, to act, to move forward. But eclipse energy does not always support immediate action. It supports recalibration. Direction becomes clearer after stillness, not before it. Now bring awareness toward the center of the chest, the heart chakra. This center is often experienced as openness, connection, relational awareness. During moments of transition, the heart can feel more sensitive, more aware, more open. Notice what is present without interpretation. Sensitivity here is not a weakness, it is increased awareness. When perception softens, connection becomes more noticeable. Not something to analyze, simply something to feel. Gently aware now, bring attention toward the throat. This is the energetic center of expression, communication, and internal truth. During eclipse moments, expression may feel quieter, more reflective, less outward. Allow this to be a moment of listening rather than speaking. There is a difference between needing to express and allowing expression to arise naturally. During this eclipse event, silence can become more informative than words. Listening deepens, internal clarity begins forming. Now bring awareness toward the center of the forehead, the third eye. This energy center is often associated with perception, insight, and observation. Solar eclipses have long been connected with shifts in perception, not because something new is added, but because something familiar is seen differently. Notice the quality of awareness here: clear, soft, spacious. Perception shifts, not by adding more information, but by seeing what is already present differently. Eclipses often create this shift, a temporary obscuring that allows new perspective to emerge. Clarity is not forced, it reveals itself. Now, allow attention to rise toward the top of the head, the crown. A sense of openness, expansion, or simply quiet presence. Rather than seeking meaning, allow the experience to remain simple. Awareness, observing itself. There can be a sense here of stepping back from everything, not withdrawing, but widening. A deep sense of awareness, observing without needing to interpret. This is often where deeper understanding begins, not through thinking, but through direct presence. Now, from the root to the crown, begin to sense all the energy centers together, not as separate points, but as one continuous field. The eclipse can now be understood differently, not as something happening outside, but as a temporary shift in how clarity appears within. Light recedes, then returns. Clarity softens, then reorganizes. This is why many traditions treated eclipses as moments of alignment, not action, not decision, but awareness. Notice how the body feels now, more organized, more steady, more present. From this state, action becomes clearer later, not forced, not rushed, but naturally aligned. This is how eclipse energy can be used, not by reacting, but by observing, allowing clarity to return on its own. Now, allow all of these powerful internal energy centers to remain connected, root to crown, one continuous field of awareness. The eclipse can now be felt differently, not as an event to react to, but as a phase to move through with awareness. Clarity softens, then returns. Direction pauses, then refines. There is nothing you need to force during this time, only something to notice. And from this noticing, aligned action will eventually emerge, naturally, without strain. take one slightly deeper breath. Allow the body to expand, then release. The system remains steady. Awareness remains available. Clarity will emerge when needed. You may choose to remain here a little longer, allowing the body to rest, allowing awareness to stay open. There is no urgency to move and no need to return quickly. The effects of this experience may continue unfolding quietly, over time, in subtle ways. And you may notice that clarity returns in its own rhythm. For now, simply rest in this state, steady, open, aware. When you are ready, you may open your eyes or continue resting quietly.